Sometimes I hear things in my nightmares, and all I can think the entire time is, what the fuck were they thinking? Relatively short video, I assume, today, because there's no reason for this video to be very long. This is the most cut and dry, balanced fuck up that they possibly could have done. And it's taken so long for me to talk about it because I thought they would have fixed it by now, and they haven't. There's a chance that in between me recording this and posting it, that they'll have fixed it, but somehow I doubt it, especially considering that the proposed changes to fix it are not going to fix it. Of course, in case it wasn't already obvious, I'm talking about C-Moon, the most overpowered stand that's been in YBA in a long time. C-Moon right now, in my opinion, is worse than the time stop one-shot kills. It is worse than KCR's cheese combo. It is worse than old KCR chop. It is so ludicrously overpowered, it's mind-blowing that this ever could have even been considered as a good idea. And not only do I think it's mind-blowing that it was even considered, I know how it happened. We all saw how it happened. C-Moon got pretty much butchered by the changes it received, and then as a knee-jerk, instead of doing what YBA seemingly normally does, which is small changes over time, it just got a bunch of massive buffs that totally broke the stand within a few days. It's clear that there was not enough time to properly test what this stand was going to be capable of doing, and I think it's pretty clear that there was zero testing involved with this, because if there was, there's no way somebody could have seen this and went, yes, that's okay. Absolutely no shot. If you asked me, my hypothesis is Uzu read the balances and the suggested changes from Paragon, said people liked the other ones, so I'll just implement these without really doing any thinking, and he did that, and now here we are. In case you weren't already aware, C-Moon gained a 30% damage buff to all of its moves, and Surface Inversion Punch is now unblockable. Or at least the second part of it is. If you don't understand what I just said, it's probably better if I just show you an example. If you land a singular counter, your opponent dies. The dummy account that I'm using in this clip has max vitality and max regen. If you're curious on total damage dealt, it's over 191 damage. My assumption is that players with max vitality have 200 HP, and the bleed on Surface Inversion Punch knocks the damage over 200, which is what kills you. Now, there are a few things to address here, and I've seen a lot of C-Moon defending, and I don't know how. How can you defend this? In what planet can you defend a counter leading to 200 fucking damage? People were mad about King Crimson because if you landed a single counter, then you could do Impale, and then you could do most of people's damage. That didn't do 190 damage. How is anybody defending this? Okay. Let's go over some of the C-Moon defense points that I've seen so far, just so we make this a little bit more clear that they don't add up. Number one is that you can barrage out of the counter, and that will make this combo not true. This defense does not hold up in practice, mostly because you need to be real quick on that barrage. I say that because when you get countered, you can't turn your character around. So if the C-Moon player goes behind you, there's nothing you can do. In other words, if the C-Moon is mashing counter and dash, and you use a move and they successfully counter you, they'll dash behind you immediately, and then that's a wrap. You're taking all this damage. So the idea of barraging in the counter against someone that's good, off the table. That doesn't work. Not only does it not work, but if you screw it up, then you take even more damage at the end of the combo. So it's a risk that usually won't work and will probably make you take more damage. Then there's the next one, which is when you actually physically hit the ground, then you can barrage people then and stop the combo. Again, this doesn't really stop the combo, more so that it just reduces some of the damage if it works, and it usually isn't going to work. All you're really getting out of barraging on the way down from the uppercut to the moon is getting barraged after the fact and then jawbreakered anyway. So they might not get the amount of damage that they would have off of their stun, but they're still getting damage. And that's it. Those are the only two defenses that I've heard so far. Maybe there's some more. I doubt any of them hold any weight, because this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. I cannot see, I've said it before, you can hear it in my voice. What the fuck? How could you even begin to defend this? Now, the question on some of your minds that are really in touch with the community is Paragon surely should have suggested changes by now to get this fixed. And he has, although I can't directly find them, and I could reach out to him to actually get the changes, but I'm fairly certain I remember them, and if I'm wrong, my bad. But if I remember correctly, the idea was to make it so that your damage is not buffed by the gravitational shift when you use uppercut and surface inversion punch. For those who don't know, I think you get like double damage or something on the last hits of both of these moves while the opponent is affected by your gravitational shift. But the problem here is that this change would not fix basically anything. It would stop you from getting one shot, but it wouldn't fix the integral problem with the stand, which is landing a singular counter does like 80% of your HP. Just doing a bit of quick calculations, if we take away the extra damage boost from gravitational shift, we're still looking at 156 damage plus bleed. Although, now that I think about it, I think the bleed may have also been proposed to be removed. So let's just say, for argument's sake, we're looking at 156 damage. Why the fuck can you get 156 damage off of landing a single counter? What the hell? Like, what? And in terms of the person that's fighting against the Sea Moon, if you've ever fought them, you'll know that trying to punish the counter is a serious pain in the ass. In order to hit them with any of your high wind-up moves, you need to predict when it's gonna end, because if you don't and you wait until you react to it, then they can just parry or block it. The most you're ever really gonna get when someone fails the counter is a singular high wind-up combo extender if you time it right, a few M1s if you play it safe, or maybe a quicker stun. So if they screw up, you barely get anything off of it unless you time it really well. And if they succeed, they get to press 3 to 4 keys on their keyboard and you die, or you've lost 80% of your health. Take your pick. And of course, I haven't even mentioned the fact that Haman buffs this, which basically just guarantees it as a one-shot kill, but why even fucking bother mentioning that? The point is, even without the Haman buffs, this one-shot kills somebody that doesn't have damage reduction. So the question on your mind at this point is probably, if the proposed changes won't fix it, then what should be done? Well, for the first thing, I do actually think that one of the proposed changes is really good and just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and I hope they change, and that's that gravitational shift basically doubles your damage. I don't understand why that's a thing. It just doesn't need to exist, so I would say axe that. The bleed on surface inversion punch is probably more forgivable. I don't necessarily think that has to go. The end-all be-all with Sea Moon is that the stand is just really poorly designed. Its moves work almost too well together, and that's what causes the constant problems with this stand. Uppercut to the moon is, I assume, supposed to be a difficult-to-land combo starter, but it comes out so quickly and can be confirmed off of your gravitational shift and your counter. So you have two moves that guarantee it, plus the potential of landing it at any time in neutral. The thing about Uppercut to the Moon is, no matter what you do, right now, it still all but guarantees you 70 damage. And if you decide to be risky about it, you can get even more than that. Guaranteed, off of one move. I think the lesson that we learned here is, honestly, if they had just left Sea Moon in the state that it was in previously, it probably would have been fine. Better yet, just add the surface inversion buff, and then that's a wrap. Or at least it should have been. It wouldn't have been top tier, it would have been okay at best, and not too many people would use it. It basically would have been White Snake. White Snake is perfectly serviceable, but it's not phenomenal. No one's complaining about White Snake. We could have had that for Sea Moon, but I and others just had to open our goddamn mouths and assume it was gonna get murdered, and now we have this hellhole. I'm gonna be honest with you here, if they just revert the 30% damage buff, we're probably fine. That's by no means a perfect solution, as like I said, I think the stand itself is extremely flawed. But realistically, we're not gonna see a rework of Seamoon, or a radical change to any of its moves. So this is the easiest fix, and hopefully the most likely one. But I'm talking in circles at this point, you get the idea. If by some miracle and a half you think that Seamoon is balanced, go, bye, leave, see ya. I mean it, get out of here. You're out of your fucking mind. With that though, we're done here. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. If you didn't, don't. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day or night wherever you are, and I'll see you next time.